Go.
All right, let's get to it. Good morning and welcome to the AI Executive Morning Buzz, your essential live broadcast for real-time AI insights, industry trends, and executive level analysis, minus all the hype and all the fluff. I'm your host, Albert Ramos, joined today by my host, the founder and CEO of White Glove AI, Nick James, and our virtual CAIO, Jason Hess of White Glove AI. Just saw the post this morning. Congratulations. We're so lucky to have you on the team, Jason. Now, here's the deal. We also have some other exciting news. While we're all together, I'd love to give a shout out for those listening and later on watching the recording. Congratulations to White Glove AI for releasing their AI AMF framework. This is really cool, and I'd love to send the mic over to you all here in a sec, but this was peer reviewed. A ton of work has gone into this framework. I know a lot of enterprises, small businesses and medium-sized businesses are excited to get this in their hands, in their organizations. But Nick, sir, I'll start with you. Congrats. This is a huge announcement. In addition to bringing on Jason Hess, I'll send the mic over to you, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Albert. I think a lot of innovation is necessity breeds innovation is the old saying, right? But also pain. I've been in governance, risk, and compliance for got too many years to count, and it goes over both my hands. So, I think there's a lot to be said about how multiple authorities try to tell you how to do things the right way, the right way that they think is the right way, right? And it ends up becoming this cluster expletive word, and it ends up becoming this mapping exercise, and you're just constantly mapping between what this authority says and this authority says and this authority says. So the earliest inspiration for the AI AMF, which stands for the AI Adoption and Management Framework, was just a means to make lives easier for people who have to deal with a number of standards, regulations, and frameworks that are out there trying to tell you how to do AI adoption correctly. So I'm very excited to have Jason on board now, and he's done a tremendous amount of work. Jason, you want to give your perspective on AI?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Albert. So when I was first exposed to White Glove AI was with the AI AMF, and Nick told me about the vision of that and asked if I wanted to partner up, that he wanted to make this an open source capability that everyone can use and help in their AI adoption. I thought it was a great mission and really jumped on and really enjoyed it. And then as I started working with Nick, writing this document and being able to kind of build that out, I really fell in love with the mission of White Glove AI and being able to help all companies and all organizations, no matter what their size, being able to adopt AI. And I think we're at a point right now, as we've spoken about in the podcast so far, that AI is here and it's really changing how businesses think about problems. And I wanted to be a part of that and be able to help, no matter the size of the organization, to be able to help them on their journey with adopting AI and all of the new technology. So glad to be a part of the team. Really excited to talk tomorrow about the AI AMF and how we designed it and what we are doing and why it will help any business, no matter what the size, as they begin their AI adoption journey.
Excellent. Well, exciting news. Great job to both of you. I know we have Dr. Donnie Wendt in the audience as well, who was a big part of this, and just wanted to give you a shout out, Doc. Great job. All right, so speaking of some more announcements and news, we have quite a bit of an agenda today. We're looking about talking through Anthropic economic index. We'll get to that. Perplexity, I know a lot of you out there have been waiting to hear about that this morning in their deep research tool. And then we'll dive into Gemini, but here's the deal. We got to start with the big news, right? Not only is Doge, his team, big balls, and Elon Musk getting in there and rattling the cage in the government, but it sounds like Elon came out with something fresh and new. And so, Nick, why don't you walk us through what's going on in the world of X? I know we got a lot of our audience members that are using X or watching this on X and are excited to hear what's going on with the latest and greatest with Grok.
Yeah, so Grok was released last night. It was anticlimactic, I would say. um, it seemed like I was in a room full of engineers that kowtowed to Elon, and they had about the personality of watching paint dry. Okay. Very smart people, but it was different. I'll say that to say the least. I think Grok was it was really a moment to catch up. I think Elon has uh, the um, the reputation of overhyping things. I think there were some charts that were established that I think Jason has some strong opinions on.
I was laughing about the Elon overhyping. I've been waiting for full self-driving that I don't have to drive for about 3 years now. So yes, I am fully aware of Elon's overhype.
You warned me of this. So I did stay up till 10 p.m. Central to watch this thing. It didn't start till 10:17 Central. I mean, I think I have this song memorized. I was playing. It was elevator music while we were waiting for 17 minutes for the show to start.
I would say that I saw you on LinkedIn with your post. Man, he's up late. I hope this thing is good.
So the biggest things I'd highlight there is they came out with deep search, which makes sense. They have their reasoning model. It's all one UI. It's not like you can pick as a feature as buttons, just like all the other major players are doing. There's something called Big Brain that'll use more compute if you think your problem is special enough for more compute usage. And it was pretty cool what they did live. They supposedly it was live. Is that they plotted they made it plot a path, a trajectory to Mars and back for safely transporting humans. And then the second one is that they made a amalgamation between the games Tetris and Bejeweled, which was pretty interesting. And it wrote it. I wouldn't say it's anything special, but then Elon took that opportunity to mention that they are going to be launching XAI game studios. He was really all about attracting talent. I really picked that up, sort of reading in between the lines. He was talking a lot about hiring and attracting new talent and having the best talent on staff. So I think it's going to be rolling out. They have their own. It's Grok.com. They have their own iOS app. It's going to be rolled out in phases. And he did say that, hey, it's kind of buggy right now, but just wait a week, it'll be better. And then the last thing I'll say is that they will, in keeping with how they've done with Grok 1, they will open source Grok 2 as soon as Grok 3 is stable. Okay.
But the big features are all behind the paywall, right, just like every other model. So, as much as the unsolicited bid for OpenAI to keep that open source, Grok is definitely not fully open source. To get the major features, you're going to have to pay for it. And right now we're getting to a point of there are so much competitors out there in the space, and everyone wanting $20 is just death by 1,000 cuts right now with all of these different models and gaining access to them and gaining access to the useful features. The free features, are very limited.
Yeah, it's super interesting. We'll see where this goes. Hoping they debug and smoothen it out. And to Jason's point, we were chatting before all of this and really challenging Elon as he's pressing so much on open AI model open source model. Well, speaking of open AI, it's just so funny that this thing's closed. The loop's closed here. And I know you were challenging that a little bit this morning.
Yeah. I think that's, where we want to start things happening. We're going to get a lot more innovation with open source models and all of these closed source models. So I think let's start seeing more of the open source models coming out.
Yeah, let's see where this goes. I'm a big fan of Elon. I know he has a lot going on, a lot of momentum, right? I think he's actually going to go and there's some hitchhikers in space that he needs to go pick up. He's sending off rockets. He has all new cars. He has a new Grok. I mean, he's He's up to a
Yeah.
lot.
And the fact that Grok is going to be a companion for the space trip to Mars in November of 26 was quite interesting.
I mean, talk about a marketing genius.
Genius.
All right, let's switch gears. I'm excited about this one because it plays into this labor market potential shock or shift in the economy. But Anthropic releasing an economic index. I was reading through; it was pretty comprehensive. I liked some of the different variables and stats and triggers that they're using there to come up with their ranking system and score. Loving the focus on each one of the different industries like education and tech, et cetera. So what are your thoughts before I chime in too much already on this?
No, I think this is great. And this is a pivot compared to where all of the other research is. They're actually utilizing the prompts that people are creating using the Claude platform to be able to identify what industries are utilizing it most and what tasks people are using it for. So I think it's a great read, and we'll add the link to the show notes. But I think what we saw is the majority of people are utilizing it for computer and mathematic problems. And Nick did a post earlier this year on LinkedIn of, what the difference of what AI is going to do. It's not going to reduce developers. It's going to increase the amount of developers. So I think that's really what we see here. And you start seeing some of the tasks that people are commonly using. So I think it's a great read. And it's also good for someone that's brand new to AI and kind of has that not sure where to start and what types of tasks to ask. This is a great way to start and see, okay, if you got some office related tasks, here's some ways that you can do it. And this is a good way to get started with training wheels with AI.
Yeah, this reminds me of probably the most accurate form of a consensus. So we'll call it the AI consensus. Because, as Jason said, they're actually taking all of these measurements from what their platform is being like, both on the UI and on the API. They're taking these measurements, and I'm looking at some of these charts, and maybe we'll share the link to the post after. But it's amazing to see the type of jobs or the job types of people who are actually using AI, and it's typically linked to their real life job, right? So especially computer and mathematical, as Jason pointed out, architecture and engineering is out there, arts and design, and sports and entertainment and media is out there.
Technical writing was a big one. A lot of people are utilizing it for.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting sort of a magnifying glass into how AI is being used, and more importantly, how AI is being sort of absorbed into the workforce.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm really excited about. I was reading the entire post and document there that they put together. Pretty impressive. But that's what I'm excited about. I'm looking forward to seeing what type of shifts happen in the marketplace as AI makes and weaves its through the infrastructure, enterprise, and a lot of these different industries. And then what can we do to have more precise data using AI to protect our economy, right? I think we've gotten a lot better, and it's been in quite a while since the Great Depression. Then we had the Great Recession, and everyone's talking about a potential correction here soon if we're not already in it. And I'm just excited about how we use AI in the marketplace, right, in our capitalistic society, and we're able to kind of control the pendulum swings.
Yeah, I really like that within the document, being able to break down the tasks that are augmentation tasks versus the tasks that are automation. If you looked at my LinkedIn feed, you'd think everyone is doing automation, but really it's not. It's actually people are using it for augmentation to be able to help validate their assumptions, to be able to ask follow-up questions in task iteration, and be able to use it for learning. I think that's what's the best part, and we'll get into this later, but the utilizing these large language models for learning is a great resource.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out is that there's going to be a displacement in the human labor market. Okay, And I think players like Claude are more sensitive and feel more or show not showcase, but because that sounds like they're being showman, but I would say that they have displayed a more concern for that impact
Right.
and it's happening already. Like, there are multiple news sources like Klarna, for example, built some AI chatbot or something that replaced the work of 700 employees. That happened like late last year.
Right.
Workday just came out and said that that was like last week that they're laying off
Right.
it was 1,700 workers, and they definitely said that it's because of their AI investments. Salesforce CEO came out and said, we're not hiring any more software engineers because of all of our advancements with Agentforce. So it's happening, and it's going to start to happen more frequently, and it's going to happen with higher volume. And we have to understand, like, how is that going to impact our reality and those around us. It's kind of like, until it touches someone in your network or someone who's close to you or a family or even yourself, that it's just going to be another post on LinkedIn until it touches your life. So
And I think this warrants a really deep dive, and maybe we put this on a future agenda, because it is nuanced, and I don't want it to seem doom and gloom that everyone's job's going away, because I think this is going to open up opportunities. But there is displacement, but there is other opportunities that are coming with every new technology change. It has displaced certain jobs and certain tasks, but has opened up new jobs that we didn't even know about.
Totally. Yeah, I'm there. I'm on that boat too, right? I think, and here's the deal, Nick. You hit it on the money. It's happening now. So there are roles that are being replaced. To Jason's point, there's also repositioning happening where, if you know how to use these tools, and if you're aware on how to use AI, or if you're in the habit of, you're more likely going to be repositioned in a role that supervises a lot of this work. Right. But the reality of it is, if you think that you'll fly under the radar and get away from this technological revolution, I think that's a wrong move. And unfortunately, there are some people that are doing that. What I love about what we do at White Glove AI, and even through the media brand, the AI Executive, is we educate. Right. We're out in the marketplace, in our communities, in our schools, in our towns, educating people what this AI, artificial intelligence, is all about, how you can integrate it, how you can use it. Shoot, we're with nonprofits as well. And so we're looking to make an impact in the community space, but we're really trying to challenge people. You got to jump on board, right? And I really recommend to the audience and challenge the audience, lean in. We've talked about this on previous shows, but Jace, I think you're right. I don't know if it's controversial anymore, but at least it's sensitive, right? And we just need to help as many people as we can to lean in and start using.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, and I think it'd be great for us to dive into that and show people how to lean in, because many people, they look at the OpenAI, the Gronks, and all right, what questions do I ask? And I know they leave some primers, but as you can see from this paper, there's a lot more tasks that are not there that we can help show people how to lean in.
Right.
And don't run away. That's like, don't run away, and don't consider yourself a victim. Okay. Because that's what's going to put you in the hole. It's not the technology. It's coming whether you like it or not. But don't run away. Embrace it and continue to learn.
Absolutely. Well, let's switch gears. I know Perplexity is also now flying above the radar, right? We've seen their name quite a bit now, and looks like they just unveiled the deep research tool. Everyone's saying deep everything, deep research, deep mind. Maybe we'll talk about that one day.
With all of these AI tools that can help you generate any name, I don't understand why these big companies can't figure out they're all using the same name.
Yeah. I mean, it's bandwagoning, right? Bandwagon 101. But at least Grok dropped the re. So Grok is search. They're trying to differentiate. But I don't know, Jason, have you played with it yet?
Yeah, I've been using the deep research quite a bit, and I've used a handful of different ones, and I'm really enjoying the level of effort that goes into it. It does take some time. Most of the research takes about 15 to 20 minutes, but you can start seeing all of the links where it's gone and reference things, and then you can start generating reports off of that. What I've seen is you're able to do your deep research, and then you go back to your GPT-4s, your Claude 3.5s, and you can then build out your report that way. So that's how they're flexing in and out. But I've been getting some really quality results and some good research topics that are answered. Even, doing itineraries for trips, of all that time and research that my wife spends whenever we plan a trip, now can start being automated and start filling out your day and doing some really cool things.
Let's talk about the economics. Okay. Perplexity introduced it on their free plan. On their free plan, you get to use deep research 5 times a day. Whereas with OpenAI's deep research, you have to pay $200 a month. When you sign up for Perplexity Pro, you get, was it 100? I believe it was 100 deep research queries per day. So if you look at the economics behind it, I think that this is another feature that's going to be part of this race to the bottom technique, where other providers like Perplexity, for example, now Grok, and even other providers, like there are open source versions. Jason, tell them about the open source version.
2 or 3 different open source GitHub models that you can run on your local machine and connect to different reasoning models. So yeah, there's a lot out there that you don't have to pay that $200 a month. So I think it's a great incentive to kind of drive those costs down and make them more affordable.
Let me ask you all this, and I'm wondering if people are thinking the same, right? So I'm used to using, Copilot, Microsoft, a little bit of Gemini, which I know we're going to hit in a little bit. Not that big of a fan yet. Chat GPT and all of that, right? So there's some of these research tools like deep research with Perplexity. Like, who's using this, right? I don't use the research tools. I'm not doing any research, so I don't know if this is more for like the professor, student, data scientists, or whatever. Who's using this? What do you use it for? And sorry if I missed that.
No, that's a great question. I don't know, Jason. I don't think I think that
it's still a very infant topic of this deep research. I think OpenAI released it 2 weeks ago, Perplexity last week. So it's still fairly new. And I think it's mostly the people on the leading and bleeding edge that are utilizing it right now. The use cases that I anticipate people are going to be able to do, you want to research a new purchase, a new camera, a new phone, a new whatever. You're going to want to do a lot of that work that it takes of, going through Reddit, of opinions of it, all these types of things where it takes you can go down a rabbit hole and spend 30, 40 minutes of doing all of this research. It will be able to help you significantly to do that and provide that. You want to compare 2 topics. It does a great job of giving you that, plus giving you all of the references. And that's where the AI models fell down in the past, is giving you those references. Now you're actually getting those references so you can validate that work. But we'll see how the market adopts it. Right now, it's still very new in infant stages. I think over the next month, we'll see how others are using it.
Is this, and let me know if I'm way off track and not even possible, but this sounds like an infrastructure play, linking in with other models. Like I don't want to do this research. Like, well, you just said, Jason, I'm like, yeah, that's a lot, right? But it sounds like, well, why can't we? And we've seen this happen, right? Both of you know this very well, but agents using this type of reasoning and research to go do what you all are saying.
So underneath it, there's a technical term called MOE, or mixture of experts, and then COT, which is chain of thought. That's what's underneath the techniques that are being used inside of reasoning. On some of these model, I think on most of the UIs, you can actually see them reason and think.
Yep.
Like you can see the thoughts. That it'll first start off with, okay, Albert asked me to do this. Let me break his request down into multiple parts. So let me do this first, and then I'll do this, and then I'll do this, and now I can achieve this. So There is this agentic sort of feel to it. Now, agents live outside of the models, like true agents live outside of the models and use the models themselves as resources for their thinking. But there is an agentic feel to what we're experiencing.
Got it. Well, for the sake of time, I wanted to hit Gemini pretty hard, but I think we're going to take it a little lighter on them. So it sounds like they had a bit of an upgrade. Real quick from both of you, maybe a 30-second thought on it. Are you for it? Are you against it? Maybe neutral? Need to use it more? Nick, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'm going to bring it on, actually, and let's ask it what the upgrades were.
Oh, let's do it. I like it. Here we go. This is live and raw.
It's like OpenAI's voice, but what's cool about this one is that you can actually share your desktop and it'll walk you through, kind of like if you ever been on a support call and somebody remotes in and watches you do stuff and guides you through like fixing your internet connection or whatever. It's similar to that. So but you have to use it on your browser. So I'm going to bring him on. Let's see what he says. Hey there, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
So you're on a podcast right now called the AI Executive, and I wanted you to tell the audience on what new upgrades came with Stream Realtime.
Okay, so you'd like me to explain the new upgrades that came with Stream Realtime for the audience of the AI Executive podcast. Can you tell me a little more about what those upgrades are?
No, I need you to tell me what your upgrades are. You were deployed by Google AI Studio.
Okay, I understand you're asking me to talk about my own upgrades since I was deployed by Google AI Studio. I can do that. I've been improved to better understand the nuances of human conversation.
Oh, you can't talk.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm totally blowing.
I think it's a good step, but I don't think it's ready for prime time yet. And I like where they're going, and I like, it's I see it as an educational tool, especially like, you want to learn how to program. It can give you advice right there on the spot. And you've got this new tool that the company rolled out and you need to figure out how to use it. Having this voice assistant there to be able to do that multimodal of looking at your screen plus giving you advice, I think is good. I don't think it's ready for prime time yet. And truthfully, I think Google threw a lot out there in their release, and it's just slowly starting to unpeel all of the things that it can do. And we'll see how the use of it goes.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the experience, right? I think Google, I always tell people, don't count them out, right? Love them or hate them. They got a ton of data at their fingertips, and that's the name of the game. Now it's just about the experience. I'm a big fan of voice. I thought that was pretty cool. I totally blew the demo. I'm the saboteur over here with Gemini. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna go test that out.
I want it to be less verbose. Like it has.
Yeah, hey, great talk
everything.
Back, man.
Just say yes, I understand.
Exactly. We're on a time crunch here. I don't need all the talk back. That's funny. Yeah, and then I don't know why. I don't know how the audience feels, but I always like the Australian woman's voice. Like prefer that sometimes. I don't know if we should do like a poll one day. Like, which voice do you like? That will tell us a lot about each other. All right, so here's the deal. I know we didn't touch too much on that one. I think we're gonna have to bring that up tomorrow morning. I know we have a lot going on this week with the AI AMF framework that we've actually released officially. So we're gonna chat about that tomorrow morning. Shoot, and I know a lot of people reached out to us here on the AI Executive as well as White Glove AI about our 14-day free chatbot if you qualify. So again, you have that QR code on the thumbnail and in the notes. So if you are interested in learning more about White Glove AI, the AI Executive, subscribing to our newsletter, or even getting your hands on a chatbot to start leaning into AI, please scan that QR code and reach out to us. So that's it for this morning. And this edition for the AI Executive Morning Buzz. Nick, Jason, again, thank you so much for jumping on and being part of our morning and just educating us, letting us know what's going on in the news, as well as how White Glove AI is solving pain points out there for us business leaders. So I challenge the group again, as we always say, stay curious, stay informed, right? Lean in, and we're so excited. We're actually bringing in an extra day. We're going Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday based on your all's feedback and popular demand every morning at 7:30 a.m. Central. Nick, Jason, thank you so much for being on this morning.
All right. Thanks, Albert. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.